Hello everyone. So here in this video we'll move on to the next lesson. Next lesson is related to living world. So here we have chapters. Lesson number 4 we have to read now. So we'll move on to this living and non-living things in this video. Next lesson we have plant life. So after that we have animal life. After that we will move on to the birds. So these all are about the living world, means these plant, animal, bird all are living things, living words. Okay, living, they have life, no, that's why we will call it as a living things. Okay, the lesson name is living and non-living things. This is the fourth lesson, and living and non-living things. Here in previous video we studied about the rocks and soil. In this video we will move on to the living and non-living things, how we will differentiate, how we will classify the living and non-living things. We will study that one. The big idea here is living and non-living things are present around us, isn't it? Yeah. So in our daily life we can assume, or we can take example as our home. So in our home we have living and non-living things are there daily around us, isn't it? Living things, nothing but that has a life on it. Okay, non-living things means that don't have life. Okay, so in this lesson we will move on to the things to learn. That is, 2 points are there here. So first point is features of living things. First point is features of living things. Second point is features of non-living things. Yeah, so here let's go. Is there Anmol is trying to wear clothes which he used to wear until last year, but these clothes don't fit him anymore. However, he finds that his toys have been wearing the same clothes. Here we can see now, this is a what toys. Okay, so they are wearing the same for past many years. He's thinking of that they are using the same kind of cloth for last year, many more years, but why he can't? What do you think is the reason? Because he is not in a same height, growth and all, isn't it? Anmol also wonders why his toys do not talk, walk, sleep and eat like him. So for example, Anmol is eating, yes, he will eat. He will talk, yes, he will talk. He will walk, yeah, he will walk. He will sleep also. But what about the toys? They can't, because they don't have any life. Okay, so that's why this is the reason. These are the characteristics of living and non-living things. We can identify how it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll move on to the lesson. Observe the things around you very carefully. So you have to observe the things, whatever there around you. Make a list of things which can move, eat, food, sleep or talk. So you have to observe that will move or what. Or that will eat food or not, or that will sleep or not, or that will talk or not. Okay, by that observation we will get what is happening. Okay, animals, birds and human beings must have appeared on your list. Yeah, I am noting down around me animals like dog, cat, or their birds like sparrows, um, what we call dove, all will be there. Human beings also. So we just noted these kind of things. They are called as a living things. So these all we call it as a living things. Do you know that plants are also living things? You just observe here. Plant move? No. Plant eat food? Exactly, because that will absorb the water, isn't it? Plant will sleep? No. Plant will talk? No. Then how we will consider that as a living thing? You must be wondering why plants are also called living things, because when they can't move, eat food, sleep, or talk, what will happen? Besides walking, talking, eating, and sleeping, there are many other features of living things. So we can't consider move, eating food, sleep, or talk. Instead of these also, means besides of walking, talking, eating, and sleeping also, we will consider some features of living things. Okay, here some question arises here. Observe the picture given below. Can you identify the living things in this picture and explain what each one of them is doing? So here is the picture. They are asking, observe the picture given below, and can you identify the living things in this, not non-living things, living things. Here grandfather is a living thing, isn't it? What he is doing? Walking. This boy, he have the apple on his hand, isn't it? So that's why he's eating. And here dog is also walking, running, isn't it? This man also running. Here cat, they are just looking here and there. And here cow, that is also eating. And here one girl, she is doing exercise, isn't it? And plants, they are there. Okay, so this is what the observation in this picture. These all we call it as the living things. And the plants, they will they will do the work, means they prepare the food for us. They will shake their leaves whenever the air comes, isn't it? So that's why we call it as a living things. So here comes next, features of living things. Living things can breathe, move, grow, eat food, feel, and respond to changes around them. So living things can breathe. Yeah, of course it can be. For example, we will take plant. Plant will breathe. Yes, that will take the carbon dioxide and that will leave the oxygen. That will move. Yeah, movement will be there of the leaf. The growth. Yes, growth is there, isn't it? And eat food. So might be we can't consider like us, but we will consider that as a observing the water. That will feel. So plant will feel. Touch me not plant, like that they will feel and respond to changes. That will touch me not plant also respond to the changes around them. They can also give birth to their young ones. So these plants also give the birth to the another plant, isn't it? So like this, these are the features, means move, grow, eat food, feel, respond to the changes, and give the birth to young ones. These all are the features of living things. So one by one we will study about these features. Okay, here comes living things grow. First one we said no, grow. All living things grow with the time, not suddenly. Suppose if we grow suddenly, means without any time, how can we? Isn't it? That will not be done good. So all living things grow with the time, means here small to big hen, isn't it? Here baby to girl, girl to woman, isn't it? Like that. A seed grows into a seedling and then into a tree. So first it will be seedling, then only we will get the tree. A chick grows into hen, a kitten grows into cat, and a baby girl grows into a young girl and finally becomes a woman. So that takes a time. Okay, this is what the feature of living things grow. Here the picture is a chick grows into a hen, chick to hen, and a baby girl grows into a woman. Next comes living things breathe. All living things need air to breathe. Human beings and most of the animals breathe through their nose. So all living things need air to breathe. So for them they need a air to breathe. Human beings and most of the animals breathe through their nose. Most of the human beings, not all the human beings, most of the animals, okay, they will breathe with the help of nose only. Plants breathe through small pores on their leaves called stomata. Okay, by this stomata only they will take the carbon dioxide and they will leave the oxygen. Fish breathe in water through small slits on their body that we call it as a gills. So fish will breathe with the help of gills. All living things have different organs for breathing. So all the living things that has a different type, different organs are there for the breathing, but they have to breathe. So without the breathe they can't be live. So this is what the living things breathe. Here one man, human beings breathe through their nose, he is breathing with the nose. And fish have gills to breathe in water, that will be breathing with the gills. This is what about the living things breathe, and this is what about the living things grow. So next point we have. Next point, living things need food. All living things need food to grow and stay healthy. So all the living things that need food to stay healthy and they have to grow, no? That's why. Foods also give us or gives us energy for our daily activities. So food will give us energy to do the work. Plants make their own food in the presence of air, water and sunlight. So plants also make their own food in presence of air, that required air, water and also sunlight that required for the preparation of food. Some animals eat only plants. So some animals will be eating only plants like a cow, deer. So they will eat only grass. They will eat only plants, okay? While some animals eat the flesh of other. So like tiger and all, tiger, lion, they will eat flesh of other animals. Human beings eat food obtained from both plants and animals. So we call it as a vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Okay, so that's why we call human beings according to their food habit. They will eat both plants as well as animals also. Here the girl is eating. Living things need food. So only, not only the human beings, animals also need a food for the growth and energy. Next feature comes here, living things can feel. So Anisha touched a cup of hot milk and immediately removed her hands. Which sense organ helped her to know that milk was hot? So just she is holding one cup of hot milk, immediately she removed her hand. She will sense that that milk is hot. So which organ? Skin, isn't it? So living things can feel, means by the skin only we will feel. For example, we are sleeping, suddenly the mosquito will come and sit on our skin. So we will feel the mosquito is coming or came to us, isn't it? So this is what living things can feel. Here living things can feel changes around them. For example, I told no mosquito and all. So any changes will be there, that will comes to first skin. They can feel if an object is hot, cold, rough, smooth. So by the skin only we will get all these things. Either it may be hot or it may be cold or rough. By touching any object we will say whether that is rough or smooth. When we feel things, we are able to react. So for example, if it is rough, so for example we are moving, means we are walking, so we don't have any slippers on our feet. So we will feel that is rough, isn't it? So we will react, oh no, I could have the slippers, isn't it? Like that. So on a sunny day, we feel very hot. So isn't it? So summer, if the summer is there, we will feel very hot. So we prefer to stay indoors and switch on the fans and coolers. So in summer, we will make the fans on. We need air more, isn't it? So at the time we feel hot. Similarly, animals also sense and react to changes happening around them with the help of their sense organs. Like human beings also, animals also sense, isn't it? That is eyes. From the eyes they will see, from the ears they will hear, from the nose they will smell, from the tongue they will taste, and from the skin they will feel, means touch. Plants also react to changes in their surroundings. Yes, exactly. A touch me not mimosa plant. We call touch me not plant as a mimosa. That plant folds its leaves when touched. I told you no before only this example. So if we touch that one, that will fold their leaves. Okay. Many plants feel the sunlight and grow towards it. That is sunflower. Sunflower, so that is like moving. Wherever the sun is there, that will move like that. Okay, you can see at the 12 o'clock in the field, in the agricultural field, we feel that sunflowers are looking forward. Okay, here comes, did you know? Plants bear thorns and hair on their surface to protect their leaves from being eaten by animals. So what will happen? Plants bear thorns, means, so these thorns, what will happen in rose we have no? What will happen? To protect their leaves, they have some thorns on them. So by eating by the animals, they will protect themselves. This is what we have. Next comes some animals such as ant, cockroach, grasshopper, and butterfly have special body parts called antenna. So like cockroach, ant, grasshoppers, butterfly, these have antenna that helps them feel changes around them. So this antenna means, starting we have no near to their eyes, we have what we call it as the antennas. Two antennas will be there. So here living things can feel and changes around them. So this one black strips are there now, we call these as the antennas. Here one and here one, two antennas for the butterflies. Okay, from the antennas only they will feel the changes around them. If anybody comes also, they will feel that one. Okay, here comes time, please. Write true or false for the following statements. So first one, plants breathe through gills. Plants have gills? No, only fish have. No, this is why. This is what we have. Plants breathe through gills. This is wrong, means false. Okay. So first one is false. Second one, only human beings react to the changes in their surroundings. No, not at all. Again, this is also false. Third one, plants can make their own food. Yes, exactly. Plants will make their own food. Fourth one, living things do not grow. No, only non-living things will not grow. Living things always they will grow. This statement is wrong. We call it as a false. Fifth one, a touch me not plant folds its leaves when it is touched. Yes, exactly. If we touch the touch me not plant, that will fold their leaves. So this is true. Here false, false, true, false, true. Okay. Next feature, we have living things move on their own. So living things move on their own. Living things can move on their own. They move from one place to another in search of food and shelter. So plants, not plants, sorry. Animals, they will search for food and they will search for shelter. That's why they will move from one place to another place. Animals walk, run with the help of their four legs. but human beings have two legs for walking or running, isn't it? Birds fly using their wings. These birds will not fly with the legs, isn't it? Fish move in water using their fins. Fish will move with the help of fins. Plants do not move from one place to another as they are fixed in the soil and do not need to search for food because they are preparing themselves, isn't it? That's why they will not move from one place to another place. They will hold the soil. They can make special movements. For example, plants bend towards sunlight in the morning because they need it prepare their own food. So if they need sunlight, they will just move, means some bend. Okay, the mimosa plant closes its leaves when touched, hence plants also show movement, isn't it? Yes, exactly. If air comes also, that will shake their body, isn't it? Here we have living things move on their own by the searching of food and shelter. Okay, here we have plants bent towards sunlight. For example, if we are planting one plant inside the house, if sunlight is outside, that will go like that only. Okay, and this is what we have. Next feature, living things give birth to young ones. So living things give birth to young ones. This is the last. So first point we studied about what? Growth. Second point we studied about the what? Second point, breathe. Third point, need food. Fourth point, what we studied? Living things can feel. Next, they will prepare. No, they will move on themselves, isn't it? Yes. Next, we studied about the last point, that is living things give birth to young ones. So listen here. First point is grow. Second point, breathe. Third point, eat. Fourth point, yes, move. Fifth point, feel. Sixth point, living things give birth to young ones. But we studied that move, grow, eat food, feel, and respond to changes. So this respond to changes, that is not there in detail. Okay, so here we have living things give birth to young ones of their own kind, not different kind. For example, dog will not give birth to cat. Okay, so a human being gives birth to a baby, and a cow gives birth to calf, and a bird lay eggs. Baby bird hatches from them. A seed produces a new seedling which grows into a plant. So some plants like carrot, potato, money plant also give rise to new plant from their roots and stems and also leaves. So we will study this one in the next lesson. Okay, because we have plant life now, in that in detail we will study this one. The process by which living things give birth to their young ones is called reproduction. The process is there, no, whatever the process is going on with the living things that will give birth to their young ones, we call that as a reproduction. Okay, all living things have a fixed lifetime during which they grow, give birth to young ones, become old, and then die. So for example, human beings, we have 9 months of lifetime to come out from the mother, and after that we have the average like 60 to 70, 70 to 80 we have the lifetime. So the give the birth means after 9 months mother will give birth to young ones and become old. She will become old, and after that, after like 60, 70, 80, 90, some maybe 100, 110, like that they will die. Okay, So but they have a fixed lifetime, but we don't know. Okay. Here dog gives birth to puppies, sorry. Dog gives birth to puppies. So like this, not cat. Okay. Kit Kitten. Okay. A seed produces a seedling which grows into a plant. So seed grows into a seedling, after that only we get the plant. A human being gives birth to babies. This is what we have about the living things give birth to young ones. Okay, understood? No, I'm just assuming that you all understood. Okay, so these are the features of living things. Next we will move on to the features of non-living things. All man-made things or non-living things, whatever we are making now, we call that as a non-living thing, such as toys are made from man only, pencils also, pens also, chalk, chair, books and tables also, all these are non-living things which are made by man. Okay, some features of non-living things are so we studied, no, they grow means living thing, they do not grow means non-living things, they do not breathe means non-living things, they will breathe means living things, they do not feel means non-living things, they, if they can feel, that we call it as a living thing. They do not need food, like table, pencil, chair, then not required food, isn't it? So these are the features of non-living things, but they need food means we call it as a living things. They do not give birth to young ones. Table, chair, all will give the birth to the next pencil and chair and all, no? No. That's why this is what the non-living thing. They do not move on their own. So we have to lift and we have to keep aside, isn't it? They will not move. So grow, breathe, feel, food, and young ones, give birth to young ones, and they can't move on their own, isn't it? These are the features of non-living things. Okay, understood? No, so on exactly opposite to the living things. Okay, so circle the non-living things in the given picture. Here we have the classroom picture. Here teacher is just teaching the lesson, and students are listening the lesson. So these, we have to identify the non-living things here. Board is there, chalk is there, book is there, sari, dress, bench, chair, books. So we call it as a non-living things. Okay, thus we see that things around us can be living or non-living things. Either it may be living or non-living things, because here you can see no pictures. In the picture we have living things also. This person is a living and living thing to the this person, isn't it? So this is what we have, living and non-living things. Living things need food. So living things need food, air, water, soil and sunlight. So for example, human beings need food, human beings need air, he need water, she need what? She needs soil also, because for the eating, isn't it? By the soil, if they plant the trees, no, plant the plants, no, at that time only they will get the food, isn't it? So they require sunlight also, because from the sunlight we will get the vitamin D. We studied about the human beings. Okay, now we will move on to the animals. The animals also need food, animals also need air, animals also need water, animals also need soil, isn't it? And animals also need sunlight. Come to the what? Birds also same thing. And come to the plants. Plants also need food, plants also need air, water, soil and sunlight, without which they can't live. This is because living things breathe air. So these will breathe air. All living things drink water, isn't it? Yes. Plants absorb water from soil with the help of their roots. As I told now, air is important, water is important. Next, sunlight. Plants need sunlight to prepare their own food, isn't it? Animals, human beings, and birds depend on plants for their food, isn't it? Yeah, I told no. Third point is plants need soil to grow. So plants need soil to grow. If the soil is not fertile, if the soil is not fertile, then plants can't grow. So they can't grow. Okay. So this will lead to a shortage of food for all animals and human beings. If the soil is not there, this is what the problem we will suffer. So this is what about the lesson. Yeah, this is what about the lesson, living and non-living things. So in this lesson just we studied about the features of living and non-living things. That's it. Okay, I think all you understood by this video. So make a use of it and study well. Thank you everyone, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share. So because this is very useful to all the children, so make a use of it. Okay, thank you.